around here. There's a bunch of crooks around here.
You ain't supposed to be in that jail, boy. Get out of there, man.
No, that's a total no, man. Bad coming.
Is my salary going up?
Bahamian people got to wake up.
This is my 5 cents and I approve this message.
The Prime Minister expecting further drops in the unemployment rate. The State Finance Minister confident the government can pull off 2 education campaigns. Plus, the automobile industry concerned over VAT, and BAIC has a new energy-saving building. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts right now. Top news tonight, Prime Minister Barry Christie today promised his government will help further reduce the unemployment rate as it serves out the remainder of its term in office. The Prime Minister says he is confident that future projects set to come on stream will help their efforts. Our Jasmine Brown has more in this report.
Christie says his administration is working feverishly to ensure that there are better days for the Bahamas by creating more jobs for Bahamians. In fact, the Prime Minister insisted today he is confident that under his leadership, this country's unemployment rate could be further reduced to 10% or even less.
But if you are concerned about our bringing it to 14.3%, as God be my judge, eat your heart out, because over the next 18 months, that is going to continue to drop to the point where it will go to, in 2 years or so, around 10% and lower. And I told the people when they start talking about, oh, the fact that the unemployment statistics went to 14.3% don't mean you're going to win. I don't know why people start talking about elections right now. So I had to remind them, my God, I just get elected.
Unemployment in the Bahamas dropped from 15.4% in November 2013 to 14.3% in May 2014, according to the latest labor force survey released on Friday. Both New Providence and Grand Bahama reportedly saw a decline in unemployment. In New Providence, the rate fell from 15.6% to 15%, and in Grand Bahama from 16.8% to 14.7%. Christie says his administration is doing all it can to put more Bahamians to work.
The unemployment rate has come down around 14.3%. What I've said to people, and I kept on saying to you, I'm very optimistic. Well, I'm more than optimistic, you know. I'm almost now certain in terms of being able to tell you that the Bahamas is in for a wonderful period of transformative development, and in which people will have jobs, entrepreneurs will have meaningful opportunities moving into the future. It's going to be very positive in its impact, and it's nothing to do with politics. It's simply to do with the reality that there are increasing numbers of people with money who have recognized that the Bahamas is the best place to be in this region and the best place to invest in this region. The challenge for us is not whether or not there are people to invest, but the challenge for the country is how do we ensure that Bahamians are benefiting from it in a maximum possible way. And that's going to be the challenge. And I'm very excited by the fact that God has placed me here at this time.
The issue of jobs has been a sore point for the PLP. Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said recently that the government created more than the 10,000 jobs he promised during the 2012 general election campaign. Davis, who is the Minister of Works and Urban Development, said his ministry alone has created that many jobs since his party took office. According to the latest survey, 8,390 net jobs have been added to the economy since May 2012. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
A senior government official says he is confident the Christie administration can handle public education campaigns on both VAT and constitutional reform in a short time frame. After being heavily criticized for failing to meet several self-imposed deadlines, the government tabled bills yesterday which will pave the way for a referendum on gender equality in November and a major tax policy shift 2 months after that. While some people have questioned whether the government can pull it off, Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis says it can be done. Vonique Toot reports.
In under 6 months, Bahamians will vote in a long-anticipated constitutional referendum and witness the implementation of value-added tax. It raises the question, how will the Christie administration pull off public education campaigns on not one but two critical issues in such a short period? The November 6th constitutional referendum and January 1st implementation of VAT both require months-long education campaigns. However, State Minister for Finance Michael Halkitis insisted the two will not clash or create confusion.
No, I mean, we're going to be proceeding and the Constitution is going to be proceeding. A big step for us today was to actually get the legislation and the regulations in the public domain.
Halkitis pointed out that two separate groups have been formed to spearhead public education on each issue. Government will establish a task force to inform the public about VAT, while retired Supreme Court Justice Ruby Nottage will spearhead public education on the constitutional referendum. She says there will be no conflict as long as officials keep it simple.
I think that one must always speak plain speak. Ordinary language, and that's what we want any discussion on the Constitution to be, so that the ordinary man understands it. Now, I'm sure that the public education for the VAT must also have the same tenets.
With the constitutional referendum on gender equality just over 3 months away, she says her team plans to hit the ground running.
The debate starts a week from today. We are literally starting probably by this weekend with meetings with the members of Parliament and strategizing how the bill will be presented, how presentations will be made, and then how we ourselves will take it out to the public.
An aggressive VAT campaign is also expected in short order. Halkitis, who tabled the VAT bill and regulations in the House of Assembly on Wednesday, says government had hoped to start sooner, but couldn't until certain decisions were made.
Those decisions have been made, so the bill is in the House. We hope to proceed to debate within the next 2 weeks, and then onward we can be more aggressive in our public education.
Halkitis says members of the VAT task force have not yet been appointed. However, he says the government has identified 3 or 4 people who are recognized as professionals in their field. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
Shortly after tabling the VAT bill and 4 long-awaited constitutional amendment bills in Parliament yesterday, members of the Christie cabinet met to discuss another item on their ambitious agenda, the amended gaming bill. Christie told NB12 he is committed to bringing the controversial bill to Parliament very soon.
We're going into cabinet right now to continue with examining the gaming legislation with a view to having an early introduction of the proposed legislation to Parliament in short order.
Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe has said the gaming bill could be tabled by the end of this month. Meantime, the Prime Minister also expressed his desire for all of those critical pieces of legislation to be passed as soon as possible.
So really it's a question of being able to get those pieces of legislation before the Parliament, passed through the Parliament, passed through the Senate, and into the country where people are able to have public discussions and be able to address it.
Christie says he does not expect any differences between the governing Progressive Liberal Party and opposition Free National Movement over the constitutional referendum, noting the two sides are of one mind. However, he anticipates opposition over the VAT and gaming bills. Well, with the introduction of value-added tax, the automotive industry is likely to experience a big fallout, according to some major car dealers. Simone Davis has that story.
After government tabled the revised value-added tax bill and regulations yesterday in Parliament, members of the automotive industry weighed in to voice their concerns that not being exempt from the 7.5% VAT would greatly affect their industry. Just over 100 items face reductions in duty, including cameras, watches, refrigerators, clothing, shoes, pharmaceutical goods, beauty products, and more. Vehicles were not included on the list, and General Manager at Bahamas Bus and Truck Ben Albury said this is not good for the industry or the Bahamian economy.
I think the auto industry, as it has been for many, many years now, is overtaxed. There's only so much that they can wring out of this industry. It seems like every time the government seeks more revenue, we seem to be the first place that they come knocking. They've admitted that we're one of the largest contributors to the Treasury, and like we've explained to them, there's only so much that this industry can handle. We've requested 3 meetings with Minister Halkitis, and neither Mr. Christie have ever met with us to discuss some of our concerns. We did have a meeting with Mr. Roll, and we did have a meeting with Ryan Pinder to express some of our concerns and speak about some of the considerations that we do need. And from what I can see now, it seems as if those have not been taken into consideration.
Albury said VAT would cause its before profit to increase pricing, which will reduce their profit.
Well, we had shown a breakdown of how the VAT would affect us as far as increase our pricing. It will decrease our profit. And we are also under price control, so any additional costs that are put on us, it's no way for us to pass those costs on. We're working with very slim profit margins as it stands right now. The majority of the market is very, very depressed. All you have to do is look at the numbers that the BMDA has available, and you will see that the industry has dropped greatly.
Albury added that if the automotive industry received tax benefits in certain ways, then the industry would be able to grow, which would be an advantage to the economy, customers, and the industry.
We employ a lot of people, and a lot of people are employed as a result of this industry. As it stands right now, it's encouraging a lot of people to bring in damaged cars, cars that may be theft recovery. And what the average man used to be able to go into the bank and borrow money to buy a car for his family now just cannot cut it, if he can even accomplish the financing.
He said although it is frustrating to be such a big contributor to the economy and still have to pay VAT, he will not stop trying to help the government to understand the industry's importance to the economy. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.